Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to review this bad boy. So this is the Ion Triple Barrel Curling Iron. I got mine from Cosmoprof, but you could buy this at Sally Beauty Supply. You could buy it at Amazon. I'll go ahead and link that down below. On Amazon right now, you can get this for $54. And I wanted this because I wanted that wave look without having to braid my hair every night. And I have already used this and I am a huge fan of this, and I only found one review online, and now that I've used it a couple of times, I wanted to be able to show you guys how it works, the best technique for it, so that way you can get good curls or waves actually each time. So the video that I saw, she was really good, but it was her first time, so I noticed that it was hard for her to figure out how to best do them, and since I've used it a few times, I can give you guys my tips and tricks for having perfect waves each time. The first thing that I'm gonna do is section my hair out. I have these clippies. If you guys have them, great. Otherwise, honestly, any clip that you would normally use to stick your hair up, you can use. I'm personally gonna use these. The first section that I'm doing is right behind the ears. So as you can see, it's about here, and I do that on both sides. So we have a good chunk. Go ahead and split the hair in the back down the middle and then pull it to the front. Make sure that your hair is brushed. It just makes it a little bit easier. These are pretty big sections here, so you can do it as one whole section because this barrel, they are pretty wide, but I personally have a lot of hair, so I'm gonna break these into two more sections. I'm gonna do the section that's furthest away from me first because it would be easier when I go to do the front section. So you're just gonna take it, go pretty close to your scalp, but you don't want to burn your scalp, so make sure you have a little bit of distance to it. And you're gonna hold it there. It will heat up really hot, so be very careful. And then after you hold it there for a little bit, you're gonna bring it down. And when you do that, you're gonna release, and you'll kind of feel the bumps in the curling iron as it sweeps over your hair. So don't open it up all of the way. Open it up a little bit as you pull it down. Those bumps will help guide you so that way you get the perfect curl or wave each time. So you open a little bit, you drop down, you feel the bumps, and you just hold it. I tend to put the curling iron a little bit close to my head so that way the curls that I've already done stay curled. If you pull it away from your head, you're gonna pull those curls out because they are still warm. As they cool down, it will set more. All right, same thing, lift up a little bit, go down, and then as you see I'm close to my head, so you can see the curls kind of in there are staying curled, they're not being pulled out. All right, next, go down again. And we're gonna do this all the way until we get to the end of the hair. I've kind of got my hair twisted a bit. There we go. So yeah, try not to twist your hair too much either. All right, and then that last piece, if you're saying that it's sticking out, that's gonna be it. So then just take that, push it to the back. Now we go ahead with our next section. So most people, the hair that is closest to your head is going to be thicker. And then as you get towards the end, it's gonna get a little bit thinner. So you will find you'll need a little bit more time on this section closest to your head. And then as you go further away, you'll see it takes less heat. And that's just because the way most people have their haircuts is the ends are a little bit thinner to make it move more. Also, a lot of people have breakage on the end, so that can be another reason why your ends are thinner. I do touch the middle to test it. I don't recommend that unless you have used curling irons and things like that a lot, because you can burn yourself and it's not fun. Another nice thing on this, it has a little space for you to hold your fingers to be able to hold this, because this tool is a little bit heavy, so it needs a little more control. Same thing with the bumps, hold it down. If you see a little bit of smoke coming off the tool, if you don't have any product in your hair, it's probably a sign you may want to turn the heat down a little bit. Just make sure that you're using the proper temperature for the type of hair that you have. I have a little bit of product in my hair, so you'll see a little bit of steam possibly coming off from that, because as it heats up, it is going to burn that product. So I have a heat protectant on my hair, and so that's why you may see, I don't know if it comes up on camera, but I can see a little bit of it. And that is to be expected, because I do have a heat protectant product on it, so it's going to burn off that heat and not my hair. All right, end pieces are out, so that's good. All right, so there are the first two sections that we have. Your under sections aren't as important as the top sections, so you know, if you're just starting out and you mess up a little bit, it's not really gonna show up so much because it's gonna be underneath, but just the more you do it, the better that you'll get. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next side. Same thing, I'm gonna split this off into 2 sections. Okay, and again, go back in there and get as close as possible, but I do not wanna burn my scalp or myself, so be cognizant of that. It does take time. It's not instant, but this is still a pretty quick tool to use. You know, maybe put on your favorite TV show while you're doing this. Maybe put on some music that you like, a movie that you like. Entertain yourself while you're doing it, but make sure to pay attention. Don't melt your hair off. That's another reason you want to know the type of hair that you have for the heat settings, so that way you don't damage your hair. I have really thick, coarse hair, so I could go really hot and not worry about that. It takes a lot to melt my hair. Also, doing it in front of a mirror is very helpful because you can't look down and see it. So when you have a mirror in front of you, I actually have one. It's underneath the camera so you guys can't see it, but I have one there so you can actually see where it is and so you know that it's there. Also, as I get towards the end, I kind of hold the hair as I go down just so I can see it. Plus, I want it to be in frame for you guys. All right, there we go. Down at the end. Okay, and then also another note is your hair will be hot when it comes out of there, so try not to grab it or touch it, because if you have it on a high setting, you can burn your fingers. I've done it before. And literally it's burning your fingers from the hair, not even from the tool. Cognizant of your ear as well. You don't have to get as close to the scalp on the underside because, like I said, it's going to be covered by the rest of your hair, so don't try and get as close as possible and then burn yourself. It's not worth it. It's going to be covered anyways. So same thing, as I'm doing it, I'm holding it closer to my head so that way I'm not pulling those curls out. This tool makes it really easy to do, so it's nice. So beautiful waves we got going on here. Okay, so now we're gonna drop the next section down. So the next section, so the first section was here right above the ear. The next section is going to be kind of your temple area, so you have about that much that you're pulling down. And I pull 1/2 first. Bring it to the front. Since we've already curled the back, we want to keep that separated. Same thing, temporal area. Put your finger back till you get to the middle and then pull that down. And again, pull that down to the front section and clip it back up. There we go. That's attractive. So you want to try and get as clean of a line as you can. You may not get a perfect line, and actually, there you go. Now you can kind of see my line. So it's not, there we go. Okay, so try and get as clean of a line as you can. Sometimes it is hard to get a straight line. The more that you do it and practice, the better you'll get at it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so everything in the front here, this is everything that we want to curl. And again, I'm just gonna run a brush through it really quick, get those knots out. Okay, and same thing we did last time, we're gonna go ahead and section it into 2 sections. I'm gonna speed this through so that way you guys don't have to sit here and watch me the whole time. Alright, there we go. Push that to the back again. Alright, so these sections, I do try and get closer to the head on it. But as we go up, we don't want to go too close to the scalp because otherwise you're going to have a wave on the top of your head, which looks a little bit awkward. So as you get to the top layers, you want to kind of pull it away just a little bit. But these ones, you can get close. And that's about as close as I get because, like I said, I don't want to burn myself. It is not worth it. But getting these closer will give you a little bit more body underneath to make your hair a little bit bigger. So if you have thinner hair, you don't have very much volume, but you want volume, this is a good way to get that. Now we're going to go to the next section. Again, break that into 2 sections. If you feel that you have too much hair in a section, you can break it into 3 sections. You don't have to do 2 sections like me. You could do whatever feels most comfortable for you. If you have a lot of hair, maybe you're going to do 3 sections in each. If you have a little bit of hair, maybe 1 section will work. Everybody has a different amount of hair and will work differently. I also tend to hold the hair under here to keep it together as I'm going down. That just helps guide it and keep it in one area rather than falling out all over the place. Okay, so my camera actually stopped recording because my memory card got full. So let's continue on where we left off. There we go. Okay, I'm done with that section. throw that back there. Again, I'm going in as close as possible, but I don't want to burn myself, so being cognizant of that. So now we are going to bring down the next section. So this section, as you can see, was here and here. So now I'm going to take here at the corner. And as I go up, I go around as well. So I follow the curvature of the head. The same thing, corner here, go around and back. Alright, so this is the section we have left. As you can see, not as clean of a line there. Let's pull that out. There we go, a little bit better. Better line on that side. So like I said, with practice you'll get it. And then just make sure as you're putting the hair up above, you're just keeping it out of the way, because you don't want to crimp that. Or I can break this into 2, or as I said before, you could break it into 3, whatever you're most comfortable with, because you don't want it to be too wide. So I'm gonna go a little more there. Okay. So now we're going to take that next section. And again, you want to get close, but you don't want to get too close to where you will burn your scalp. Not worth it. All right, same thing. So now we're getting into the top sections here. So with these sections, so basically once the head starts to curve, you don't want to get too close to the scalp, because if you do, then up here you're going to have a big bubble. So we don't want a bubble, we want it to flow a little more naturally. So as you can see, we have a little bit of a bubble here, but as the other hair lays on top of it, it's not going to be so bad. If you had a bubble here, then it literally would bump off of your head. So I have a lot of hair. If you don't, you can literally take it straight down the middle and do that. But I do have a lot of hair, so I have to section it one more time before I can do the final section. Okay. So basically all I'm doing to section that off is taking the whole section and doing half on this side, half on this side, knowing I'm going to go down the middle. So this will be what's left. Okay. You get into the area where the front hair kind of wants to come, or the back hair. Front area. So all this wants to come down. So you can either leave this here and then just pull this and use this, or you can try and push it back and do that. But it may come forward depending upon your length of hair. Again, I'm going to section this into 2 sections and go at it. This hair's pretty brushed through, so I don't have to brush it again, but you may have to. Alright, so I could go closer, but I am not. I'm going to leave a little bit of hair there instead of getting right up against my scalp. And because this section is thinner, I don't have to hold it on as long because I have less hair in these sections. But if I were to do both at the same time, just straight down the middle, then I'd have too much hair and it wouldn't heat as well. And again, I try and keep it all as close together as possible. Alright, there we go. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see that there. So it does have a little bit of a wave, but because I didn't go right up to the scalp, it just doesn't sit as bumpy up there. It has a little bit, but not. If you were to do right up against the scalp, you would have a huge bump. And if you're looking for extra volume, you know, maybe that's your thing, have at it. But I personally like it to come off a little bit. So as you can see, I pulled it a little bit away from where it was. Another trick you can do is you can not hold it on as long, so maybe don't heat it up as much so you won't get as much of a defined curl at the top, so that way you don't have a huge bump. It's all about your preference, really. This side could use a brush. Go. So now we have the final section. Did I do it? Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hot mess, hot mess. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, we are almost done. Okay, so again, I don't want to go too close to the scalp. as you can see, I am leaving a good distance. I could get right up to the scalp, but I do not want to because I want it to be when the head starts to curve. So as you guys can see, this is the finished look. So by not going too close to the scalp, you didn't get too much bumps up here in the top. I mean, you do have a little, but not a lot. If you had gone right up to the scalp, then like I said, right here is where that first bump would be. So this really does give you big hair. It is very much beachy, very much mermaid style, which is why I like it. So again, my thoughts and opinions on this are I love this tool. It makes it easy, convenient, as you guys could see, beautiful end result, lots of volume, very big. I love this thing. I'm so happy I bought this and I use it very frequently. So if you guys are interested in a 3-barrel curling wave iron, this is what I would recommend. This is not sponsored. I purchased this with my own money. So there you go. If you guys have made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. If this is your first time, I appreciate you checking out my videos. If you are somebody who has already been with me, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you know when I put out new videos. All right, have a good day, guys. Until next time, bye.